thumbs up. That's good. All right. Coach, whenever you're ready. Opening statement.
Hello, everyone. After getting back and evaluating the film and things from the last game, very proud of our team in regard. First, you got a victory, but more importantly, thought we played very physical in the game. Thought we gave great effort. We were far from perfect. There's a lot of mistakes in the game that we have to clean up, a lot of little things on all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams, that we have to make sure we're on the same page and just clean up the details and, have great attention to them and all those things. So sometimes they don't always bite you, but they bite you when they bite you. I mean, just because you got by with them in one game don't mean you have to fix them. And those become problems when they really don't need to become problems. You have to clean them up, evaluate yourself, even though you had success in the game, to make sure that you're dotting I's, crossing T's, and trying to leave no stone unturned to give your opponent an advantage. And there's a lot of those things which we need to do in the game. But again, I thought we were physical. I thought we ran the football. I thought we stopped the run, which is very critical. Threw the ball with a lot of efficiency on third down, and even in the red zone third down, which I think is a very, very big area that sometimes we get underlooked. I mean, we say it was red zone, but it's at third down red zone conversions. Those are huge. Can really change things. Defensively, I thought we stiffened. When they did move the ball down there, we stiffened very well, played well. Unfortunately, we gave up the one big play. I think we got to get cleaned up. We had 8 penalties in the game. That's inexcusable. And 2 guys that we lost in the game that no one feels worse than they do, but we got to get that cleaned up. But 8 penalties, that's too many to have in a game and playing the kind of competition we're going to be playing coming forward. And we got to clean those things up. But there's a lot to be proud of, too, the effort. And I saw guys trying to be physical, trying to hustle. And I saw selflessness. I saw guys that were willing to block for guys downfield, and a lot of the long runs and things that came about. You break the line of scrimmage, but there's blocks being made down the field by skilled guys and people that do a great job in that. And I thought defensively, the other thing I thought we chased the ball very well, had good leverage points, kept angles on the ball, tackled in bunches, and got there in a hurry. And we didn't get sacks or turnovers anytime. They got the ball out pretty quickly, but anytime they held it, we usually had someone hitting him and had some contested throws. We got to clean up some of the deep ball stuff and make sure we're a little bit better in that regard and coming on. And then we'll look forward to a great game this week against a great Clemson team, and it'll be a great opportunity for us to compete. But we have a lot of work to do in ourselves and worry about ourselves and get ready. So, questions?
Right side, Gabe.
Hey, Jimbo, how much do you like an opportunity this early to get a team this good to really evaluate as a measuring stick who can and who can't?
I think it's great. I really do. I think it's an opportunity for your kids and to find out, what it's like. And Clemson's been as good as anybody in college football in the last few years and doing a great job. They're well coached, got great players. We all know that. And we're going to find out if our guys we can compete and stay focused in the game. But what we got to worry about is ourselves, not worry about Clemson. All we can control is us and how we prepare. And like I say, you want to play these games, but more importantly, you got to prepare to play these games. And because when you're on the field, you're going to revert to your coaching and your conditioning and your habits and what you do on a daily basis, which is on the practice field.
To the left, Cease, and then down front, Brent.
So how do you make it another game, Coach, when it's not another game, Jimbo, when everybody's just psyched up with game?
It is another game. It is to us. It's one win, one loss, whatever happens, and so you have to approach it that way. Your opponent doesn't matter. You got to create the practice habits from within yourself and the preparation habits that no matter who you play, the way you do things. And that's the way we'll prepare this week.
Down front, Brent. To the left, Zach.
Right here, Coach. How would you evaluate the play of your defensive line, in particular Kingsley Keke, in terms of playing a different position?
I thought he did a really nice job, kept leverage on the ball, got pressure inside. I thought Mack did an excellent job. Keke was excellent. I thought Kingsley was. And the diversity he causes can create so many allow us to play different personnels, which is huge. And again, like I say, not only his physical abilities and his tenacity to play football, but his intelligence level to be able to do that is very good. And then I think up front, Mack did a good job. Matabuke, all those guys did. Durham. Keke was very good.
To the left, Zach, and then Olin.
Jimbo, I know it's always important to protect the quarterback, but with the defensive line that Clemson has, how imperative is it to protect Kellen Ornick?
Well, you do, because even if you don't get sacks, you get hits. And we had a couple hits on the quarterback the other night that we didn't need to take, that we had a miss up. That's another thing we got to get cleaned up. There's a couple too many hits on the quarterback the other day, which one is too many. And but also there's a regard in that with receivers and quarterback and everybody getting the ball out, which they did for the most part. And we got to clean. It's not always offensive line. Everybody says, well, the offensive line. No, we have tight ends that block and running backs that block and everybody else. So, but it will be very imperative because those guys up front are, all of them been first or second team All-American last year on every team. So, all 4 of those guys. So, they're dynamic. They can beat you with power. They beat you with speed. They beat you with experience, agility. Knowledge. They're a well-coached group, and it's going to be a great challenge.
Right side, Jake, and then to the left, Ben.
Coach, what makes Coach Swinney's program so good, and having that prior experience against him, do you use that as kind of an advantage going into this game?
Well, you know what they do and what they like to do and how they're going to compete. And, the good news is the bad news is because they do a great job. And, we've been in some great games. I mean, all of our games in the last couple of years have been one-score games and games that went down the wire, whether we won or they won, whoever. And they've been very competitive games. But they do a great job recruiting. They coach very well. They're very sound. The kids believe, and they've got a culture there that believes they're going to be successful, and they practice and do those things. And he's built an outstanding program.
To the left, Ben, and then to the right middle, Max.
For y'all to do what y'all want this year, how important is it for this offensive line to continue to develop and get better, given how young they are?
Oh, it is. It's critical. I mean, whether the offense and defensive lines are critical for everything you do. I mean, you have to win the line of scrimmage on either side, and also your tight ends and backs in that regard. Not only the line getting that push, but those backs and tight ends, how they're fitting down in things and doing it. But the physicality up front, the communication, and being able to handle, because listen, Clemson's going to have a great front, but so doesn't everybody we play down the road is going to have them. I mean, everybody does. And that group has the continuity in it, the unity in it, and then developing that physicality and attitude is going to be critical.
Right middle, Max.
Yeah, Coach, I'm sure every game's different, but over the years in playing against Dabo and Clemson, are there consistent things that you have to do or that you can't do against them? Or are there things
don't turn it over, play real well, convert third downs, be good in the red zone. I mean, all the things you got to do. But, I mean, you're not going to be given anything. You're going to have to earn everything you get. And that's going to be the key. You can't wait for them to make a mistake and say, "Oh, there's a big play." And if one of those happen to happen, hey, you better take advantage of it, because sometimes you didn't. I was on a team last year. We had a couple opportunities and we didn't do that on some plays, and it costs you if you do happen to get one. But very few times you have to earn everything you get, and they make you earn those things. And they do a great job that way. They just don't beat themselves, and they play sound in all three phases.
The right side, Gabe.
When you went back and observed the tape on Kellen specifically, and you talked about he got hit a few times and the pressure, what did you see on tape in terms of his ability to deliver the ball on time?
He stood in there 2 or 3 times and threw strikes with guys bearing right down on him and hit it, which I was very happy with. I mean, stood right in there, took a couple right in the chops, picked up blitzes, and when things broke down, created with his feet, and then didn't take the negative plays. One time, the sack he had, 2 sacks, there was nothing he could do when he turned. I mean, they were on top of him. But other times, he created plays with his feet or threw it away. Did a nice job. Hit 2 or 3 nice blitz reads that we got the ball out very quickly, and he got it to where it had to be gotten to, and understood why, and can come off and tell you. And from that standpoint, I was very excited and pleased with the way he played.
Another question down front, Brent. Let's get the mic to you.
Kellen Mond told us he almost went to Clemson because he considered Deshaun Watson someone he really looked up to. I know you don't like to make comparisons, but he said he kind of tries to model his game after him. Do you see that at all?
I'd be all for that. I don't know. I mean, Kellen works hard. He models his game after him. And I think players, you model your game as somebody, but the thing you got to be is like when you coach or you play, you got to be yourself. I mean, you got to see things, the intangibles that make you successful. And, what makes Deshaun successful, and a few times I've been around him, first, he's a quality young man. He's intelligent. He studies the game. He's a great leader. And all those are great qualities of successful people. And that'd be a great guy to study. There's no doubt about it.
The back left, Justin.
Coach, we hear it all the time. Running game is offense's best friend because in the defense, they know what's teeing off. You can't just tee off on you on second and long, third and long. How critical is it, Jimbo, to get Travion in the running game going? In this
have to. We have to have balance. If you're unbalanced against these guys, and sometimes there may be tough sledding at times. There may be times you bang it and you're not getting tons of yards, but you got to make them respect the run. You got to run the football, and you got to keep balance because they got to play it. If not, then they can become one-dimensional, and the guys up front can tee off and come at you. So in that regard, I've always done that as an offensive coordinator, offensive play caller. You have to create balance, or it becomes very, very tough to move the football.
Time for a couple more. Down front, Brent, and then Suzanne.
Did you at least kind of smile when you looked at the schedule and you're coming to the SEC to coaching it in your second game all time?
I had no idea. It was kind of ironic when they said after I remember when I accepted the job, I looked down and they said, I said, you got to be. I said, really? I said, and that's ironic because of, whoever won that game for so many years won the conference. I mean, every year, and that was a critical game, whether you're in the playoffs or winning a national championship or playing for them or winning conference titles. I guess it's kind of ironic. I guess it's fitting.
Right side, Suzanne.
On your tight end, Sternberger, can you talk, I know you've spoken about it some before, but how you got him from the junior colleges here, because he was one of your first commitments?
Yes, he was.
And how many times was the tight end on the field Saturday night?
Probably, there was at least one tight end on the field, maybe every play.
Because you had like 96 snaps, so.
I can't, as I'm thinking, on offense, I would think we at least had one tight end in some form or fashion on the field, probably 96 snaps. I don't think we're in 4 wides any. I can remember. If there is, it's 1 or 2 snaps. So it'd been, I put it this way, about 99.9%. I'm not a math major, but somewhere in that percent, maybe 98. Okay, but how we got him? Actually, we were recruiting him when Damien had found him. We were looking for tight ends. We were down at Florida State. Damien found the tape, and researched and said, he don't know, and did some research. Said he was at Kansas, and went to JUCO, and he's not the starter. And I said, well, why? And he said, but I'm telling you, the guy's a really good player. I mean, so Brew looked at the film, I looked at the film, we all looked at it and said, yeah, I mean, because he started playing the second half of that season. And they were on a team that had some great tight ends also in junior college, and he had just gotten there, so I understand that. One got hurt, and I think one of them went to Oklahoma State, was a great player. And we started looking at it, and this guy, you're going, you call, is there something wrong? What's the big deal? Because you see greatness, but that just says opportunities, and kids develop, and opportunities happen, and they change, and they move. I mean, whatever happens, we want to judge them when they're 18. Well, they change when they're 19, 20, and 21 sometimes and get better. And, and it was just a great job by our staff of evaluating a good player. And then once you got a hold of him, man, he's just he's a dream. He's so fun to coach and practice. And like I said, he should have played in 1955. I joke about that. But, I mean, just the way okay, now get on me. I like you getting on me. I mean, just play hard. And the more you get on him, the harder he plays. And he doesn't have a slow down button and loves the game.
One follow-up on that. He is talented enough that when you do go with 4 wides or maybe empty, I guess we didn't see that.
Yeah, you saw
he
it.
would stay on the field.
Oh, yeah, we like flexing him out. I mean, he can run, and you're putting a big body at 250 pounds, or, how you flex 45, 250 in that weight frame that can run and, and run routes like a wideout and do things. I mean, there's no doubt.
The left, Justin, and then Gabe.
Coach, I know during media days and all that, you're real big on, faceless opponents, but obviously given what they've accomplished and everything, does a team on your side of it have to rise to the occasion, or are you big on what you do during the week? Make sure
we have to rise to our own occasion. We have to rise to the level of our competency in ourselves. That's the whole quest you got to have. And I know people don't, but you do. You got to rise to the key. And people say, well, they rise above the. No, that's what they always could do if they would just do it. I mean, you say you can't rise above your own levels. Your own levels are what's in you. You just got to get it out. It's got to come out. And that's what we have to learn. If we want to be a championship team and to play at a high level consistently week in, week out, you have to reach your own levels and do your own thing and understand how to compete at the levels you have to. And don't worry about the scoreboard. Don't worry about your opponent. And you respect your opponent. You go against their schemes, and they're a very good football team, and you have respect for them. But you got to respect yourself and your teammates by how you prepare. That's how you respect the university for what you stand for, and the team you're on, and the players you're representing, the people beside you. You respect them by getting prepared to play the best you can play.
Right side, Gabe, and then to the left, Ben.
Jimbo, you played against Kelly Bryant last year. Trevor Lawrence is a blue chip guy, no doubt. What do you see? How efficient do you have to be this week to prepare for 2 guys? What's the challenge of that?
Well, I mean, you think everybody says because Lawrence can throw the ball so well, which he does, but the guy can run. Guy's an athlete. He's just not a guy that you can say, okay, we don't have to worry about zone reads or quarterback runs. This guy can run. I recruited a guy now. I mean, I know he's legit on both sides. And Kelly Bryant is. You're talking about a guy who went to the playoffs, who's played in big games, who's thrown, won an ACC championship. He can run and throw it too. So as crazy as it sounds, they're probably more similar than they are different. I mean, in some ways. I mean, you say one throws it better than another, but the others have been very productive at high levels at times. Kelly has in big games, and Trevor's a very, very talented guy. So, I mean, they're both good in all aspects.
To the left, Ben.
Do you expect to have Anthony Hines available to play this week?
We're hoping so. I mean, he should be practicing this week and should be able to play. He'll be practicing today, and we'll gauge as we go through if there's any setbacks. But we're anticipating that.
Where do you feel like you are linebacker-wise, given the health situation and kind of the bodies you have right there right now?
Well, I mean, same where I was at the beginning of the year. I want more. We need more. I mean, you can't have enough, and because those guys are so vital, and that the way the game's played today, a bigger body that can play in space and run, that you can be physical. You got to go play a Jay Sternberger. I mean, you got to be athletic and run. You can't have enough of those guys. But then he'll say, okay, put DBs on them. Well, they out physical, and then you run the football. So I mean, those guys right now, and then special teams. I mean, having those guys on special teams in the bodies, we need linebackers.
Staying to the left, Cease.
Jimbo, Clemson was looking for a big winner since they had Ford, really. When you look at Sweeney, what do you see? Clemson was looking for a big winner since Danny Ford. They went through a few coaches. When you look at Sweeney, you've gone against him 8 times. What makes him different? How's he able to build that program back?
Well, I think first he's a very smart guy, and he's very charismatic and very engaging and intelligent. And he does a great job with people and people relations and recruited well, understands the games, hired a good staff, and Clemson has supported him. I mean, I know their athletic director was a guy who was with us at LSU back in the day. And, he was assistant athletic director. He worked with Scott when he was down there. And he's a guy who understood how to do things and the importance of administration and the support and putting things in place to, they built new facilities, they've added to the stadium. They've done all the things that keep up with what you have to do. And they've done a great job of going out and recruiting and coaching their tails off. I mean, it's been an all-encompassing thing there that they've hit it right.
Anything else? One more. Brent, you'll wrap us up?
It's all right.
That's
You mentioned Hines. Is there any update on Michael Clemens at all in terms of
he's
how
healing,
coming
but
along?
I don't know when. He's healing up and getting better and better, and we're just, we're a week-by-week situation with him.
all right, Coach. Thanks very much.